So when you take a look at this cake, for example, it has a circular piece at the top, and the easiest way to do it is just to take the ellipse tool, create the shape. It doesn't matter which direction it's going. If I hit default, it'll give me the default colors, but right now I just have this section, so when I hit it, it's just a white with a black fill. If I give it a color just so you can see it, I can always go into the control panel and grab the stroke and the fill just so you can see it a little bit easier. Okay? And just a matter of moving it up with the option to duplicate, shift key, keep it straight. I could take the pen tool or any other tool that gives me some line. I'm just going to grab the square tool on the anchor point. You can see it touches the anchor point on either side and gives me that shape. And all I have to do is select the bottom two with the shift key just to move it to show you that I have them both selected, and either use the shape builder tool or the pathfinder tool to take a look, and if you have the tool listed in the toolbar, if not, drag it up from there, but here I have it down below. That union eyes is this one, and this one just go to command arrange. I can use the keystroke for it, bring to front, and there I have that beginning part of this. Now I already have some of the colors just because I've been working on a few of these pieces with the gradients, and just make sure the X is selected so it gives you that gradient going at the top. So if I grab this color, this is giving me this side panel. So depending on what type of frosting you like, there's the top piece of it, and section up from there. But I'll keep it kind of the coloring up at the top there. So there it is for the cylindrical piece. Any of the pieces that are on here, I can change the stroke, the weight, the color. I'll just leave it black so you can see it. If I want to have any of this decoration, a quick way is just the blob brush tool. So when you grab the blob brush tool, you can see it has that. It's showing that the black is the foreground piece of the stroke, and that's the one I want to change. So I'm just going to grab it and give it a gradient like that. So on this, if I zoom in, spacebar so I can move it over quickly, I can just create this, and it's going to fill across. Now if I start a new one, it'll overlap obviously and give you a different pattern, different texture, and that's giving me that shape. If I want to change this or manipulate it or use a different tool that gives me a little bit more flexibility, just like the pencil tool, if I click on that just to show it to you, if I stroke this across, there you go, that gives me the thickness. It gives me the thickness here. I can change the uniformity of the brush. I can go into the stroke. I can come back here, so I want to change that so it's an end cap or rounded corners, so it rounds that part off. I can always readjust this or just take it off altogether, so it has that piece. So this acts as a stroke and has a little bit more flexibility in the gradient as far as the tone coming across and the gradient wrapping around that stroke. So that gives me that option. So I can place that up there and give me that piece right there. And if you remember from the last time where you did the candle, I got a candle I snuck up here. So I can drop this guy down here. And that gives me this selection up on top. So once I have that, I can go ahead and just use the option key. I can command duplicate it and just get the candles out there and just readjust them as they go. If there's any kind of a cast shadow, I can go back into the shape tool, take the star for example, create this. The arrow gives me a number of stars, points, and the option lets me adjust it. Command lets me change the inner radius of that. That gives me that piece. I can eyedrop that color. Make sure I have this piece highlighted. So I can take it from that color. I can get a darker value here. Go to the X, take the stroke off, and just kind of use this piece as a shadow and place it on there. So that gives me that option. And I can distort it down a little bit, kind of fit it so it looks like it's a cast shadow from the candle. Come to the outside of this, let me zoom in a little bit. And that gives me that piece. Now in the appearance panel or the effects, I can go either direction, and it'll give me the blur. The default is there. And I could try to place them underneath it, but I'm just going to start this reel from scratch. I'll take all those out, select on this candle, bring it to the foreground, and shift key and just group these together. So now when I do this, I can put down a few candles and just drag them and drop them into place. And since they've gone front to back, that gives me that selection. So just a quick rendition of this, giving you a couple designs to it. And again, if this selection, I can grab this piece of it, that's the cake, I can group that together, Option and drag this down, and Option and Shift key just to make it bigger, and send it to the back so you can kind of make even more layers of it like this. So it's kind of a quick and easy way. And anything that you would do beyond this would be to try to manipulate a little bit with some of the shading, some of the shadows for that part. So just kind of a quick piece of that, or a quick piece of cake, placing that on there. Here I can just grab it, group it together, and do any of the shading or touch it all up, fix the frosting, that type of thing. And there you have it.